Hello, Eurovision fans. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. It's time for another Eurovision battle where I have two songs from the Eurovision Song Contest fight it out in rounds, looking at different aspects of the song and performance. Today we have Eaea from Spain against Soarele și Luna from Moldova. I chose these two songs because I think they are quite similar in certain aspects. They both are steeped in tradition. They have references to their cultures in the lyrics, but also combine or fuse modern sounds with traditional sounds. And I find that really interesting. I listened to them next to each other or after each other a few times, and they do seem quite similar, honestly. I didn't realize that at first, so I thought this is an interesting Eurovision battle. So let's do it. The first aspect I want to look at is the staging, and here I'm comparing the performance in Benidorm of Eaea to the performance in the Moldovan national final of Soarele și Luna. Now, let's start with Eaea. I think the staging is quite well done and quite artistic. You can see that right away. However, I think that there's a bit too much happening on stage. It's a bit intense. And I think they should focus more on her emotions, because she's really good at that. The staging could also reflect the lyrics a bit more. I think, yeah, there's not that much of a connection between what the lyrics are saying, which is beautiful, with what is actually happening on stage, and that might confuse people, especially if you don't speak Spanish. And I think they would be well advised to make the performance a bit more like the music video, to have the color schemes change within the performance, also add some more traditional elements. She wears more traditional clothes, I think, in the music video, and that makes it more impactful, at least for me. Soarele și Luna is a bit similar. I also think it's a bit too messy and that too much is happening. I think they should get rid of some of the elements. For example, the flute player, which seems very gimmicky to me, they should get rid of that, I think. And also focus more on him, his charisma, which he definitely has. And again, I prefer the music video to the live performance. However, overall, I think the performance of Eaea, especially because of the gimmicky aspects of Soarele și Luna, I prefer Eaea, and so I give this one to Eaea. The next round is the performance. So how does the singer perform? I mean, both are very, very charismatic, and they are really good at infusing the energy, the passion, the emotion that fits the song into their performance, their facial expressions, everything that they're doing. Pasha seems really, really energetic, and Blanca full of passion and grief and mourning. So I really love both of them in the way that they are performing. You know that they are professional. So I am giving a point to each for the performance. Now, next up, we have the lyrics. Now, the lyrics of Soarele și Luna are very fitting for the song and for the instruments that are used, I think, because it's about a wedding held in a forest. There are lots of medieval images and references in the lyrics. There's references to Moldovan folklore, the Dniester River, which is very important in Moldovan folklore, as well as doinas, which is a traditional style of singing, are mentioned. And I really love that they are doing that. The lyrics of Eaea, I think, are on yet another level. It's a lullaby a mother sings to her child. There are references to Federico Garcia Lorca, a famous Spanish writer, to Spanish culture and history in general, and Andalusian culture in particular. So if you're interested in that, I did a lyric explanation video for Eaea, so check that out if you want to know more details. But I do think that the lyrics for Eaea are a bit more profound and more rich culturally, so that point also goes to Eaea. Now, the voice, Pasha sings well, he's a good performer, but the vocal chops of Blanca Paloma, sorry. Just grammatically, Blanca Paloma seems strange, but Blanca Paloma, her voice is unmatched in this Eurovision. She sings really well. It's very hard to sing the style of flamenco. The long sustained notes are sometimes a bit much for me, and it's a bit too intense. In the music video, I feel like the sustained notes have a bit more variation and more emotion in them. So I hope she sings it a bit more like that, maybe a bit more acoustic, which I would like. I have heard that she is going to do a bit of a revamp of the song. But long story short, 1 point definitely to Blanca Paloma for the amazing voice. Next up, let's talk about the song. And because the song is so important, I have subdivided it into 4 sub-rounds. The first one being melody and hook. Now, Soarele Luna to me is very catchy, very energetic. There's a distinguishable melody that stays with you after the song ends. Eaea to me is less a song and more a performance piece. I have a lot of difficulty getting into this song without the performance, just listening to it on Spotify, for example. It doesn't have a really distinguishable melody to me. So this point goes to Soarele Luna. So we are 4-2. Next up, we have the structure. So Soarele Luna is quite interesting in its structure, I think. The sole fact that there are parts that Pasha sings alone, that there are parts that the backing singers sing alone, and then they come together. They will have problems singing these melodies in live, I think, and the harmonies especially. But it adds an interesting variation to the song. There are slower parts. Verse, chorus is very distinguishable. And I find the structure really well done. In Eaea, I think it lacks variation. It's quite intense throughout the whole way through. I know that there are slower parts and more intense parts, but the intensity level just stays at 80, then goes to 120, and then goes back to 80. And that's just a bit much for me. I don't think there's a really clear structure, and that makes it interesting. That makes it an interesting song and entry to many, but not to me personally. And so I am giving this point to Soarele Luna. So it's creeping up on Eaea 4-3. Now, originality, I think this is a tough one because I think both are really original in fusing traditional and modern music. I'm really happy that these 2 songs are part of Eurovision. We need this variation. They're a great addition to the contest. And yeah, I thought about it a lot, but in the end, I think I can also give a point to each, and that's what I'm doing. 1 point to Eaea and 1 to Soarele Luna. Now, the 4th sub-round is song overall. And here I try to just feel what is better to me. And I have to say that listening to it as a song, Soarele Luna is just way more interesting and accessible. That's the word I was looking for, accessible to me, than Eaea. When you look at the performance and especially the music video, Eaea is beautiful, but it's not the kind of song I would listen to on a playlist. So this point goes to Soarele Luna as well. So yeah, we have our first tie in a Eurovision Song Battle. We don't actually have a winner. Both of them are winners, or they tied basically. But I also have your votes for these 2 songs, and maybe we can decide that the winner of your vote is also the winner of the overall battle. And here we have 44% for Eaea and 56% for Soarele Luna. I'm a little bit surprised by that because Eaea is usually much higher in the fan votes and in the polls. But these are my subscribers that voted, and you prefer Soarele Luna. So I guess if we add that to my points, Soarele Luna is actually the winner of this song battle. Let me know in the comments what you think of what I just said and who you think should win each of the rounds, and also which of the 2 songs you prefer. Let me know as well if you like this concept and if you want more of these, and which songs I should have battle against each other. Please subscribe to my channel and come back for my next video. Bye bye.